What if I told you that the life you desire is not waiting to be created? What if it's already finished, existing right now, waiting for you to feel your way into it? You have been told to work hard, to struggle, to hope, to wait for a sign from the outside. But that is the great slumber. Today, you awaken. The secret to all manifestation, to every miracle you can conceive, is not a thought, a ritual, or a word. It is a feeling, a specific, powerful, creative feeling. By the end of this journey, you will not just learn the secret, you will embody it. You will understand how to generate the one feeling that commands reality itself. And once you truly feel it, the world has no choice but to change. Stop for a moment, just stop seeking. You are not looking for a power that is outside of you. You do not need more time, more skill, more worthiness. That is the great illusion that keeps you wandering in the desert. The power you seek, it is already throbbing within you as your own consciousness. It is the very foundation of your being, the eternal I am. Miracles are not born from struggle, they are born from acceptance, the acceptance that you already are what you desire to be. This is not a lesson in acquiring something new. Oh no, this is a remembrance of the power you have always been. The secret is not in the doing, but in the feeling. It has always been the feeling. It is the alpha and omega of all creation, the silent, invisible force that shapes the world of appearances. You have been told to work hard, to fight for what you want. But I am here to tell you, the only work you must ever do is within yourself, in the sanctuary of your own feeling. Now, let's talk about time. You believe time is a rigid line, a master you must obey. But time is your servant. It is fluid, malleable, and it responds only to one command, the command of your conviction. When you truly feel a thing as real, you are in a new state of consciousness, and time bends to bring that state into your world. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is a signal to the universe that the future is now. It collapses the illusion of waiting. Why do your desires seem to take so long? Because you remain in the state of wanting, which is a state of lacking. You are perpetually feeling the absence of your desire. So time obediently stretches out that absence for you. But the moment you assume the feeling of its presence, time hurries to obey. It rearranges the entire world, creating bridges of incident you could never have conceived, all to prove your inner feeling is the only reality. You are not waiting for a moment in the future. You are selecting a reality, right now, deeper now. Your inner world is the only true world. What you call reality is but a shadow, a mirror reflecting what you hold to be true within. And what governs that inner world? Feeling is the hand that presses the seal upon the wax of the formless. Your imagination may create the image, but it is feeling that gives it life, that makes it real. Without feeling, an imagined scene is just a daydream, powerless and fleeting, but infuse it with the feeling of its reality. And you have performed this sacred act of creation. The outer world has no choice but to conform. It cannot resist a persistent inner state. It must, by law, mirror what you feel to be true. You have been trying to change the reflection in the mirror, but the mirror only shows what is already there. The work is not on the reflection. The work is on you, the one who is feeling. So what does it mean to feel? It is not a violent emotion. It is not screaming at the universe. It is a quiet, profound acceptance, a subtle shift, an inner knowing. It is the serene confidence of the wish already being a fact. Ask yourself, how would I feel if my desire were true, right now? Let that feeling wash over you, not as a fantasy, but as a reality. Wear it like a comfortable garment. This feeling is the secret language of your deeper mind, the operant power that moves mountains. It doesn't shout. It is the stillness of knowing it is done. This is the key. The feeling tones the mind. It tunes your consciousness to a new reality. And once you attune to that frequency, that reality must appear. It is law. You are not pretending. You are selecting. You are decreeing what is. Therefore, understand this. All that you see in your world today is the direct result of your past feelings and assumptions. Your current state of consciousness, made up of all you accept and consent to as true, has outpictured itself as your life. The secret to changing your world is to change the feeling, to change the state from which you operate. You do not beg for the miracle, you embody it. You do not chase the manifestation, you become it. The feeling is the secret because the feeling is the creator. It is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the point where your inner world merges with the outer. And when that merger happens, the world has no option but to respond. But that's only the surface, because the true nature of this power is the greatest secret of all. Okay, here is the second block, based on the topic God as human imagination and the power to create. And what is this power? Where does it come from? I will tell you a truth that may shock you, a truth that has been hidden in plain sight. God is not some distant deity in the heavens to be worshipped or feared. God is your own wonderful human imagination. That's it, your awareness of being, the very consciousness that hears these words and thinks your thoughts. That is God. This is the great secret of the mystics, the pearl of great price. There is no other creator. Your imagination is the one and only creative power in the universe. When you say, I am, that is the name of God. And whatever you attach to that sacred name, your imagination will work tirelessly to bring forth into your world. You have been praying to an idol on the outside, when the living God has been residing within you all along, waiting for you to recognize him, to awaken him. By learning to feel something as if it were already real, you are doing more than just positive thinking. You are awakening God within you. You are breathing life into your I am. Imagination conceives the desire, but feeling is the sacred blood that makes it a living reality. When you feel the joy of having your prayer answered, you are performing the one true spiritual communion. You are uniting with your own divine nature. This is the meaning of praying without ceasing. It means living in the feeling of the wish, fulfilled, not for a moment, not for an hour, but as your constant dwelling place. Every time you sink into that feeling of serene accomplishment, you are commanding the creator of worlds, because that creator is your own imagination. The power has never been separate from you. You have only been unaware of its true identity. Now, you know, you are a creator. You must accept this. Look at your life. Everything in it, the good, the bad, the indifferent, you created it. It was born from your assumptions, your beliefs, your secret feelings. The world is nothing more and nothing less than a perfect reflection of what you believe and accept as true. It doesn't judge you, it simply shows you who you have been in imagination. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the cause of circumstance. This truth gives you ultimate freedom and ultimate responsibility. You can no longer blame the world, or others, or fate. The operant power is in you. You are, at this very moment, projecting your consciousness onto the screen of space, and the world you see is the film you are running within. The question is not whether you are creating. The only question is, what are you creating? This creative act is powered by conviction. The world doesn't respond to idle wishes. It responds to deeply held beliefs. An assumption, a belief, is simply a thought that you have consented to, a scene you have accepted as real in your imagination. When you persist in this assumption, when you return to it again and again in feeling, it hardens into fact. It must. Your inner world of belief shapes the outer world of fact. You must saturate your mind with the feeling of the new reality. Think from it, not of it. To think of your desire is to remain separate from it, but to think from it is to become one with it. It is to live in the end. This is the difference between a daydream and a creative act. One is a fleeting shadow, the other is a prophecy you declare upon yourself. So, the world is a mirror, a magnificent and obedient mirror, that reflects who you are in consciousness. It reflects what you are feeling with conviction. Your imagination is the supreme creator, the God within, and your feeling is the chisel that shapes reality. Everything is an outpicturing of the state you occupy. You are not in a world, the world is in you. To change your life, you do not to change the people or the places outside. You change your inner state. You select the reality you wish to experience by assuming the feeling of its existence. This is the foundation. And once you understand this law, you hold the key to a life of freedom and power. Now go deeper. We must explore how to apply this, how to consciously walk in the state of the wish fulfilled. Okay, here is the third block, based on the topic how to apply feeling and manifestation with examples. So, how do you do this? How do you consciously inhabit a new reality? It begins with a simple, honest question you must ask yourself in the quiet of your own heart. How would I feel if my desire were already a fact? Do not think of the desire as being in the future. Bring it mentally into the present. What would the feeling be right now? Would it be relief, joy, a deep, quiet confidence, a feeling of security? Isolate that specific feeling. This is your destination. This is the state of consciousness you must enter. You do not need to construct an elaborate, detailed scene in your mind's eye, not unless it helps you evoke the feeling. The feeling itself is the goal. The feeling is the creative act. You must close the door to the outer world of appearances, to the facts that deny your desire, and you must open your senses to the inner world where it is already accomplished. Now, you must embody this feeling. It is not enough to visit it for a few minutes and then return to your old state of lack and worry. You must wear this feeling as if it were your new skin. How would you walk through the world if you were already the person you desire to be? Your posture would change. Your tone of voice would shift. How would you greet your friends? You would carry yourself with a different light, a different energy. How would you sleep at night? You wouldn't toss and turn with anxiety, would you? No, you would sleep in the peaceful satisfaction of a prayer already answered. This is the art. To live, move, and have your being within the feeling of the wish fulfilled until that feeling becomes your natural, default state. It must become so familiar that the old state of wanting feels foreign and unnatural to you. Do not for 1 second believe this is make-believe. That is the lie of the unawakened mind. This is not pretending. This is creation. It is the highest, for a form of creation. To pretend is to know something isn't real. To create is to enter a state in imagination and accept it as the only reality. Your inner world, your I am, is the true substance. The outer world is the shadow that conforms to it. When you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, you are impressing your true, creative self. You are giving a divine command. You are not fooling yourself. You are instructing reality. You are selecting a timeline. You are choosing a world. This is the operant power that has created everything you have ever experienced, and now you are learning to wield it consciously, with deliberate intent. It is the most real thing you can possibly do. If you desire to be lovingly reunited with a partner, you would not spend your days looking at a silent phone. You would go within. You would quiet your mind and feel their presence with you, right now. You would feel the comfort of their hand, hear the familiar sound of their voice in your inner ear. At night, you would fall asleep feeling the warmth of their body next to yours, not out of longing, but out of a quiet, profound acceptance that you are already cherished, already secure, already one. You would live from that inner state of union. You would no longer feel the ache of separation, because in the only world that matters, your imagination, the separation is over. You would be living in the feeling of reunion, and the outer world, which is but a mirror, would have no choice but to project that union for you to see. If you desired a position of greater prestige and income, you would not focus on your current limitations. You would, in your imagination, stand in that new office. You would feel the authority of the title. You would hear your friends and family congratulating you, and you would feel the genuine thrill of their joy. You would feel the satisfaction of your new salary, not as a future hope, but as a present fact. You would ask yourself, how does the man who has this job think? How does he feel? And you would begin to think and feel in that manner. This is the method for every desire, big or small. You must enter the state of its fulfillment and live there, but simply entering the state is only the first step. The true test of your creative power is to remain faithful to that unseen reality. Okay, here is the fourth block. Based on the topic persistence in feeling and detachment from the outcome. Once you have touched that feeling, once you have truly occupied the state of your wish fulfilled, your work has just begun. The great test is one of faithfulness. You must remain loyal to this new reality. This is your mental diet. You cannot afford to entertain thoughts and feelings that contradict your assumption. So many people perform the creative act perfectly, in imagination for a few moments, only to then spend the rest of their day feeding on doubt, fear, and worry. This is like planting a precious seed and then pouring poison on the soil. Every complaint, every surge of anxiety, is a prayer for what you do not want. You are creating with every dominant feeling you hold. Your allegiance must be to the unseen reality within you, not to the tyranny of the visible world. You must turn your back on the army of reasons that your senses provide. They are liars. They are messengers of a past state that you have already left behind. Persist. You must persist. If you find your mind wandering back to the old story of lack, you must gently but firmly guide it back to the new story, the new feeling of fulfillment. Do this 1,000 times a day if you must. This persistence is what impresses the subconscious mind. It is what convinces the creator within you that this new state is your true home. As you remain faithful to this inner feeling, a miraculous change begins to happen. The entire world starts to shift and rearrange itself to conform to your new assumption. It has to. It is law. People will say things, do things, and appear in your life in ways you could not have planned. Events will unfold, a bridge of incidents that will appear before you, and you will walk across it to the fulfillment of your desire. The world is not solid and fixed. It is infinitely malleable, a fluid shadow that perfectly mirrors your sustained inner state. And you must not concern yourself with the how. The moment you begin to anxiously plot the means, you have fallen from the state of the wish fulfilled. To worry about how it will happen is to confess that it has not happened. That is the logic of your old self. Your new self, the self that already is what you desire to be, is not concerned with the process. The how is not your business. It is the domain of the deeper self, the I am within you, the God that is your own imagination. It has ways that you, in your limited conscious mind, know not of. Your only responsibility is to occupy the destination, to live in the feeling of the end. The bridge of incidents will form on its own. Trust the power within you. It is all-wise. It knows the way. Your attempts to force and plan the how only interfere and delay its perfect, natural unfolding. This leads you to a state of profound peace, a quiet confidence. This is not the anxious excitement of hoping something will happen, but the deep, serene stillness of knowing it is already done. You can go about your day with a secret smile, a calm assurance. You are no longer looking for signs, because you have become the sign. You are no longer waiting for the world to change, because you have changed your consciousness, and the world is simply catching up. This is true detachment. It is not detachment from your desire, it is detachment from doubt. It is the peaceful conviction that what was felt as real in imagination must, and will, come to pass in your world. The seed is planted. The creative act is finished. You can rest in the knowledge of this infallible law. You live in this quiet confidence, knowing that your assumption, if persisted in, must harden into fact. You are not trying to make anything what happened. You are simply allowing it to happen by remaining in the state where it has already happened. This is the paradox of creation. You receive your desire not when you are desperately trying to get it, but when you are peacefully living from it. This is the meaning of faith. It is loyalty to your unseen reality. But what of the moments when old fears arise, when the shadows of doubt creep back in? These feelings are messengers. and you must know how to respond to them without falling from your state. Now let's go deeper into the nature of these feelings and understand the continuous dance of creation. Okay, here is the fifth and final block, based on the topic dealing with fear and doubt and the continuous nature of creation. So what do you do when fear grips you? When the old anxieties and doubts rise up like ghosts from the past, do not fight them. To fight a feeling is to give it your energy, to make it stronger. Instead, you must learn to observe it. Acknowledge it for what it is, a messenger. Fear is simply a powerful indicator that you have turned your inner eye towards an unwanted reality. It is the emotional consequence of imagining something you do not desire. That is all it is. It is not a prophecy of a future doom. It is a feedback signal, an alarm bell from your soul, telling you you are using your creative power to imagine the wrong thing. Change the scene. When you feel fear, thank it for the message, and then calmly and deliberately turn your attention away from the unwanted image and place it back on your wish fulfilled. This is the art of revision. When you catch yourself in a state of doubt, ask yourself, what am I imagining right now? What inner conversation am I having that is producing this feeling? Then, you must revise that scene. Stop the inner film of failure and play the film of success. If you are imagining an argument, revise it into a conversation of reconciliation. If you are imagining receiving a bill you can't pay, revise the scene to one where you are looking at your healthy bank balance with a feeling of security. You have the power to stop any mental movie and replace it with one of your own choosing. This is not escapism. This is conscious creation. You are withdrawing your creative energy from a reality you do not wish to experience and investing it in the reality you do. This is the true work, the discipline of a creator. Understand that creation is not a singular act but a continuous process. You are creating in every single moment. Your feeling state is like a broadcast frequency, and you are constantly tuning in to a reality that matches it. There is no idle moment. You are always feeling something, and therefore you are always imagining, always creating. The question is whether you are tuning in by default, allowing the outer world to dictate your frequency, or whether you are tuning in by design, deliberately choosing the feeling of your wish fulfilled and holding to that station. The world you experience is the direct result of the frequency you are broadcasting. To change the world, you don't shout at the broadcast. You simply, quietly, change your frequency. You change your feeling, and the world, this great mirror, reflects who you are and feeling, continuously. It has no memory of your past states, other than the effects they have already produced. The mirror doesn't hold a grudge. It simply reflects what you are holding in your consciousness now. This is the ultimate freedom. You are not bound by your past failures or manifestations. In any given moment, you can choose a new state, assume a new feeling, and the mirror of the outer world will begin, instantly, to reflect that new you. Your point of power is always in the present moment. It is your present feeling state that is your creative command. You are not undoing the past. You are selecting a new present, and that new present will create a new future. So, you see, it all comes back to you. The power, the process, the choice, it is all within your own consciousness. Feeling is the secret, for it is the language that speaks to your imagination, which is the one true God. You apply this by entering the state of the wish fulfilled and living there. You persist, remaining faithful to your unseen reality, and you detach from the how. And when fear appears, you recognize it as a guide, leading you back to the truth of your creative power. The world is a mirror, constantly showing you who you are being. This is not a technique you use once in a while. This is the very nature of your being. You are always choosing. You are always creating. You are always declaring, I am. You are no longer the person who started this video. You understand now. You do not manifest things. You release realities that are already finished within you. The search is over. The power was never outside. It was always waiting in the feeling. So, the only question left is, what are you choosing to feel is true, right now? Declare it in the comments below. Let us know what new reality you are stepping into. Subscribe to this channel and activate the notifications, because this awakening is a continuous journey, and do not stop here. If this video opened the door, the next one will walk you through it. Click it on the screen now, and let's go deeper.